All right. we're gonna we're gonna play more of this Nintendo Switch Welcome Tour. Just realized I should probably switch to the Joy-Con just in case mouse things happen. I wish to remove the actual strap from this. I might do that. Okay. Let's go for it. Alright, so we got Switch Tour. Switch, or Welcome. Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour. Alright. So where we last left off, we were doing that mouse challenge. Then I found out that there was more mouse challenge. A, B, C, D, F, G, H, I guess pretty easy to remember. Just how big is this place? You can tilt left, right, and get a better view of the surroundings. Okay, so the lost and found shit. What happens with that? Welcome. Thank you for visiting Lost and Found desk. Oh, thanks for turning this in. I have a feeling that somewhere out there, a lost item is longing for its home. If you happen to find it, please bring it to me. Okay. I'm gonna continue with what we were doing. We're gonna do more of this mouse stuff, I guess. Sorry. I can't unlock this minigame until you collect 31 medals. Okay, so that's something for the future. Did you know you can press and hold B? Okay. So that's what HD Rumble 2 is like. It's much easier to understand when you go hands-on. Alright, so a mini game specifically for HD Rumble 2. Alright, so find the strongest rumble, it says, along a line. So we're doing mouse. Just kidding, pretty strong. Oh. I feel like that's very subjective. No way! Alright. Hey, nearly spot on. Okay. Okay. We're good. We're good. We're done. We're good. Okay, find the strongest rumble. Astonishing, you perfectly pinpointed the rumble's epicenter. I must concede that sensing strong rumble is totally your forte. Really your forte. And there's another. Oh, along two axes now? Okay, so I know it's not over here. It's not up here. It's down here somewhere. Super interesting for people that are just watching. Truly astounding! Final part is open, but I need more medals. That was so much fun. I didn't think we'd see something like that. The maracas are so cool. They feel so realistic. The left Joy-Con controller lets me use my mouse controls with my left hand. You just have to press L while holding it like a mouse. Sorry I can't get through here yet. Come back after you've had a good look around Area G. Alright, so this is demo number 1, it says. This isn't exactly a game, per se, but give it a try. In this demo, you'll get to shake the Joy-Con 2 controllers as if they were a pair of maracas. Physics-based calculations are used to make the beads in the maracas behave like real beads. As the beads shake around inside, the Joy-Con 2 controllers rumble and simulate that effect. Move the beads around inside the maracas and see for yourself what HD Rumble 2 is made of. Okay. Shake the beads 20 times, change appearance. Shake a rubber ball 20 times, gently roll the beads, and question mark. I mean, there definitely is a difference in feel. And it is amazing how it works. But you can't fool me. There's no beads inside this. Alright, now we gotta go down here. Mouse foot, upper. The mouse feet make it easier to slide the Joy-Con 2 controller when you're using mouse controls. Release button. I read an insight that said that you can play games that use a mouse in each hand. I wonder what sort of games would use a control scheme like that. I think you're talking about that wheelchair game. Just making sure there isn't anything else hidden around the edge here. SL. Mouse sensor. Player LED. Magnetic connector. Sync button. Wow, I had no idea the buttons were made out of steel. Mouse foot lower. Alright, quiz me. You can learn about attaching and detaching the Joy-Con controllers here. You'll find out about how they attach and to the console that you can actually attach them backwards and more. Just what I like to hear. Then, without further ado, introducing magnetic connectors in Site 1. Attaching and detaching Joy-Con 2 is easy. To detach the Joy-Con 2 controllers from the Nintendo Switch 2 console, simply press the release buttons. They come off in an instant. You'll be able to attach them even with the consoles in the dock. What's more, you can detach each one with a single hand. To attach the Joy-Con controllers, simply bring them near the console. They're easy to both detach and attach. The Joy-Con 2 attach magnetically. Do you know how the Joy-Con 2 controllers attach to the console? They use magnets. Unlike Nintendo Switch, there's no locking mechanism to prevent the controllers from being detached. The only thing keeping them connected is the force of the magnets. Joy-Con 2 can be attached backwards. Here's a fun fact about the Joy-Con 2 controllers. Each controller can be attached to the opposite side of the console. They can even be attached backwards. However, this orientation is not recommended. The Joy-Con controller 2 controllers won't charge when attached backwards. Okay. Where are the magnets? The Joy-Con 2 controllers attach to the Nintendo Switch 2 console magnetically. I'm getting tongue-tied. But just where are these magnets? Well, they're on the main body of the console. The Joy-Con 2 controllers don't have any magnets that attach to the console. The SL and SR buttons are made of steel. The magnets on the console attract the SL/SR buttons. Alright, let's do it. Alright, which of the following release? Magnets. In which ways can the Joy-Con 2 controllers be attached to the Nintendo Switch console? Either side, backwards, all the above. Oh. Oh, I was right. Oh, because none of the above was above all of the above. Okay. What a legend. You got all the answers correct. You really know the ins and outs of the magnetic conductors now. Huh. How are you enjoying the insight quizzes? If you'd like, I can give you some very special insights. Oh, you let me share my insights with you? Perfect. You can actually use mouse controls on the Nintendo Switch 2 Home. Yep. All these things that I had no idea about. Not just a mouse. When you're using mouse controls, the Joy-Con 2 controller doesn't just act as a mouse. There's a host of other things it can do. For instance, the gyroscope and mouse can work together to determine which way and by how much you've turned something. This means you can use the mouse to grab and rotate objects in certain games. Also, the mouse can work together with the HD Rumble 2. This lets you feel different kinds of rumble as you move the cursor around. Left and right controllers both have a built-in mouse sensor, so two people can play together with mouse controls, or you can control two mice at once, one in each hand. So you see, there's a lot to mouse controls. A mouse sensor is located on each Joy-Con 2 controller. There's one right here. Truth is, they're actually black and white cameras with a resolution of just a handful of pixels. That's fewer pixels than the Nintendo Switch IR motion camera. It's even fewer than the old Game Boy camera. Okay, stuff like this I actually find interesting. So how are these cameras used? They check the surface they're on to see the direction and distance they've moved. This is translated into mouse movement. Fun fact. They can capture thousands of photos in a single second. This number may vary depending on the movement of speed. This allows the mouse to capture some very precise movement. Using the mouse on your lap. Mice are typically designed to be used on your desks and tables. Joy-Con 2 mouse controls, however, can be used on other surfaces, such as your legs. Mouse responsiveness made to vary depending on the surface. This means that you don't always have to be near a desk or a table surface. Well, that's actually kind of handy to know. You'll be able to use the mouse even while sitting down on the sofa. Joy-Con 2 can be used as a mouse. This allows you to play games that are designed to be played with a mouse cursor. Of course, there are more to move than just an arrow. This opens up new ways to play games as compared with Nintendo Switch. By the way, you might find it easier to hold the Joy-Con 2 like this. In what way can you play games? This is rotate what you grab with the mouse. Okay, that's everything over here, right? Aside from the games that I can't unlock yet. If you want to change your appearance, just exit the exhibit hall. Don't worry. We'll let you back in. Is there anything else to be gained by talking to the... Okay. That's right. It was this side that I opened up. Wait. So what other... Oh, it's just with them? Okay. Did you get all the stamps in Area A? Area B can... up ahead can be a little slippery, so watch your step. It's also fucking massive. This is which console area? Oh, that's fun. Alright, let's do our business. You can tilt left and right, pan and camera, yep. There's a minigame where you need to guess the frame rate. My time to shine. You can get clear medals for playing minigames, tech demos. The better you do it a minigame, the more medals you get. It really gets me pumped. My sixth sense, it speaks to me. It keeps saying there's a hidden stamp here. Never thought we were going to take a look around somewhere like this. I'm going to check out every inch of this place. Corner to corner, top to bottom. They have fireworks. That's such a pretty display of fireworks. I'm so down with HDR compatibility. Oh my god. Wasn't expecting a tech demo like this. Traveled a long way to get here. And it's already worth the trip. It'd be good chance to bring up getting a 4K compatible TV. Practice my pitch on the way home. Brightness sensor, huh? I'm sure a lot of stamps on the edge of this area. Didn't think there would be that many. Air vent. Audio jack. Game card slot. Heard an insight that the sound of clapping specifically doesn't get removed. It came out of left field. Microphone. This place looks pretty slippery. Well, kind of fun. Give it a shot. Oh, vacuum cleaner and the hairdryer noises are totally gone. Wild. As this stand as light and robust as extra super duraluminum. My favorite kind of duraluminum. Heh, never thought I'd hear that round these parts. Just between you and me, let me tell you a little trick. Sometimes a video game might feel just impossible, right? Or maybe you can't get into a tech demo because you don't have a 4K compatible TV or some other piece of equipment. Well, in those situations, stand near the staff member, press Y in this pattern. Okay. They'll give you however many skip medals you need to clear the exhibition. If you give it a try if you're really stuck. Think of this as my own little insight for you. So basically it's like an automatic clear for some stuff. This minigame was so much fun with 2 people. And he's not even listening to it. You can use your medals to unlock minigames. Love to learn, so just focusing on reading all the insights. I'm glad you can get from area to area just by collecting stamps. Huh? It's facing downward just a little. You know, it's probably right. There's probably one for the screen, right? Um... What am I missing? Guess the frame rate. Please switch to tabletop mode or handheld mode or connect a 120 Hz compatible TV. You need to adjust some settings on your TV. Apparently I don't have 120 Hz TV. But I'm not too worried about that. Oh, I can't even skip it until I've earned it. 6 mints. It speaks to me. It's saying there's a hidden stamp nearby. Okay, but where the fuck is it? Stamp nearby. I still think that he's talking about the magnetic attachment thing. Alright, touchscreen. Or just then as display, touchscreen you can use with your fingers. It's designed to recognize where you touch. When you're touching with 2 fingers, it can tell if your fingers are close together or further apart. This might be familiar already, there's also a little more to this. Nintendo Switch 2's console touchscreen can tell the position of up to 10 fingers at the same time. Okay. Less choppy. There's another thing about the Switch 2 console screen. Makes games feel less choppy. You could also say that the screen is VRR compatible. VRR is short for variable refresh rate. You're playing a game and a lot of characters appear on screen. Frame rate can become choppy. Here's what's happening. It takes a little longer than normal to draw each picture. Because of this, pictures aren't ready in time for when they're meant to be updated on the screen. So, if the image has been changing 60 times every second, even a slight delay would skew the timing. Suddenly, the pictures would update at half the rate, only 30 times per second. You can see why a game might feel choppy. So, when games that support VRR, the update rate can be changed on the fly to match the image completion rate. If it takes a little longer to draw the image, then the update rate can be changed to 55 times per second. This is better than suddenly dropping to half the rate, so it's less likely to feel choppy. This means all that some players find VR compatible games comfortable to play. The video is purely for reference. Smooth movement. Nintendo Switch 2 console screen can change images at high speeds, up to 120 times per second, in fact. So you can say that the screen is 120 Hz compatible. The faster the pictures change, the smoother the movement will appear. Nintendo Switch console screen changes images up to 60 times per second. So a rate of 120 times per second will mean that the movement looks twice smooth. The image shown is just an example, but for games that support 120 Hz, mouse movements will appear smoother. Using the right stick to look around will feel smoother, and scrolling with the screen will look smoother. But that's not the only benefit of playing games that support 120 Hz. The world appears to you 1/120th of a second faster, which could give you an advantage during very intense gameplay. Bright light! May have already noticed, but the Nintendo Switch 2 console screen can emit some very bright light. You can also say this screen is HDR compatible. HDR here stands for High Dynamic Range. The Nintendo Switch console has approximately 16.77 million different types of light and color. Meanwhile, the Nintendo Switch 2 console can use hundreds of millions of different types of light and color. In games that support HDR, it's now possible to display bright, intense light. Here's a non-HDR image. And this is what happens when HDR is used. In the non-HDR image, there's very little difference in brightness between the most vivid parts of the explosion and the areas around it. Meanwhile, in the HDR image, the brighter areas can shine very brightly, while the darker parts remain unchanged. Don't worry. We took care not to make it too bright. To me, this is just like, give your parents this to play and they'll learn about new electronics in some way, shape, or form. If you could zoom in really close to the Nintendo Switch 2 console's screen, you see that it's made up of lots of little dots. These dots are called pixels. There are 1,920 horizontal and 10,080 vertical, to be precise. This is also called 1920 by 1080 resolution. That's 2.2 times the resolution of the Nintendo Switch console. In fact, it's the highest resolution ever used on a Nintendo console. As for the size of the pixels, they're the smallest of any Nintendo console to date. Having the most pixels and the smallest pixels provides a crisper and more detailed screen. Okay. How smart is I? Pixels. Ten of those sneaky little digits. HDR stands for high dynamic range, is a way of producing heaps of color and light. Explosions, nightscapes, all that good stuff should look nice and shiny on the screen. This particular HDR demo lets you experience fireworks. It should feel like they really pop. You can see just how much of the fireworks change by toggling the HDR on and off. Oh yeah, I've been instructed to tell visitors that the brightness will depend on your TV's HDR capabilities. Experience the difference in brightness. So A and R to set off some fireworks. X to hoggle HDR and SDR. Toggle HDR and SDR 5 times while paused. Pause the fireworks 3 times and something. It's probably lit off a number of stuff. Okay, so this is HDR. So some stuff here just looks white. That gives it other color. See Nintendo's Switch 2 light up the sky. I think it's coming. So yeah, standard definition, it just like there's bright stuff, but it's just oversaturated. And this just makes it clearer and gives it more definition. Well done. I don't know how to let off the fireworks in other locations. Anyway. Done. A 4K image of this Switch 2 console right now is made up of lots of different pixels. Images on the old NES or Famicom had far fewer pixels than this. If you're trying to display each pixel from back then with pixels on a modern 4K image, a massive difference. Game ends up looking super small. One look at World 1-1 from Nintendo Super Mario Bros. Tells you all you really need to know. Experience the vastness of 4K. Complete the course, answer pipe, and complete the course. Complete the course is Fire Mario. Fully explore and complete the course. Oh, I can't go backwards. I can't see the freaking... Those are some small pixels. That's what it's like, mapping each pixel from an old Super Mario Bros. Game onto a 4K screen. Looks super tiny, right? Quiz. More than different colors. There are two different color game cards. Nintendo Switch game cards are black, while Nintendo 2 game cards are red. Other than colors, they look practically the same in terms of shapes and size. But there's actually one more difference. The Nintendo Switch 2 game card has a distinct shape. When a game card is inserted into the game card slot, the Nintendo Switch 2 console checks to see if the game card has this shape. This is how it tells the difference between Nintendo Switch 2 game cards and Nintendo Switch game cards. It changes the way it reads the data based on this. The Nintendo Switch 2 console has a game card slot, but it doesn't just take the red Nintendo Switch game cards. What does this mean? It means that in addition to being able to play games that are exclusive to Nintendo Switch 2, you can play Nintendo Switch games as well. Or 2. Certain Nintendo Switch games may not be supported or fully compatible with Nintendo Switch 2. You can play many different games on Nintendo Switch 2. I'm getting tired of saying these things over and over again. Reading data in a new way. If you take a peek inside a Nintendo Switch 2 game card, you'll see it's quite different from a Nintendo Switch game card. Its data can be read in a different way. Assuming the buffer size of 4 megabytes, the read speed is about 5 times faster than that of a Nintendo Switch game card. However, some game cards may be doing more in the background than just loading, so it's not guaranteed to load around 5 times faster. Also, Nintendo Switch 2 game cards have a higher total capacity than Nintendo Switch game cards, so the contents of these game cards are really quite different. More capacity. Which kinds of game cards can be inserted? All of the above. You can learn about Nintendo Switch 2 console's microphone. Balancing voice levels. The console's chip is designed to make voices easier for you to hear. If some people are quieter than others in game chat, it might make them difficult to pick out. The chip automatically makes it so that each voice can be heard at roughly the same volume. Of course, some people are naturally going to sound louder than others, but even more importantly, voice volumes differ depending on the mode. In the handheld mode, the console will be closer to you, delivering sound straight into the microphone. In TV mode, however, the dock can be relatively far away, which means the mic may have trouble picking up sound. Whether someone's up close in handheld mode or sitting on the sofa far from the TV in TV mode, you'll be able to hear people's voices at about the same volume. On top of that, even if there's several people in front of the TV all talking loudly, the chip takes account of their individual voices and balances out their volume. Erasing game sounds. Console's chip is designed to make voices easier for you to hear. One way it does this is by removing game sounds that the microphone picks up. If it didn't do this, it'd be hard to hear what's being said in game chat as people talk back and forth. And you get noisy with all the overlapping sounds. Noise that gets re-amplified like this is called feedback. The chip does its best to remove these game sounds and prevent feedback, although, realistically, there could be all sorts of sounds coming out of a TV. These sounds can vary depending on the TV and specific setup in your home, so removing them can be difficult. For that reason, game sounds are also sent to the chip. The chip selectively removes these sounds based on the sound quality and acoustics. Noisy console sounds. The console's chip is designed to make voices easier for you to hear. One way it does so is by reducing unwanted background noise, such as the sound of a vacuum cleaner. But that's not all. Nintendo Switch 2 microphone also picks up the sounds from the console itself. For example, it picks up the sound from the Nintendo Switch 2's console air vent. And reduces it, yep. The air vent is positioned right next to the microphone, so it ends up being much louder than a person's voice. With the chip, this loud noise is completely erased. Also, it even removes the snapping noise that you hear when you attach the Joy-Con 2 controllers to the main body. It's been designed to reduce as much external noise as possible so that others can hear you. Noise reductions for games. The console chip is designed to make voices easier for you to hear. One way it does so is by reducing noise around you. It's called noise reduction. Nintendo Switch 2 console uses a form of noise reduction that's been customized for playing games. This noise reduction function doesn't just focus on spoken words, but it also designed to preserve mood and emotions. Take the sound of clapping. If you just wanted to convey words, the sound would be treated as noise and reduced. We balance this so that the clapping doesn't go away, letting you immerse in a vibrant, positive atmosphere. It's a form of noise reduction designed for playing games. So, to give you atmosphere, well, it reduce the sound of people giving the bird and telling you to go fuck yourself. Nintendo Switch 2 console has a built-in microphone designed to improve the game chat experience. Aside from the microphone, the console also contains a chip, which makes people's voices easier to hear. It's handy for when you want to chat as you play. That was a lot. Microphone. A tiny conversation partner. Built-in chips removes noise. Which one is not? A fan. Feedback. Volume. Masterful. A flawless victory. Okay, almost done. Are you enjoying the insights quizzes? Looks like you've taken quite a few. If you'd like, I can share another insight with you. You can change the mouse sensitivity in system settings. Level of sensitivity you can choose will be reflected here in the Nintendo Switch Welcome Tour. Feel free to customize the cursor speed if it'll help you with some of the minigames. Got 9 medals. Do you know about all this noise reduction stuff? It's a feature of the microphone on the Nintendo Switch 2 console. It gets rid of just about all unwanted sounds, making it easier to hear people's voices. Guess why the techies call it noise reduction. Going to give it a test run. Turn on a vacuum cleaner or something. See what's made quieter. Okay. Nintendo Switch 2 console's microphone aims to reduce noise and leave only people's voices. Testing. Testing, testing. Hello. Testing, testing. Hello. Alright. Hey Google, play the Mario Kart 8 soundtrack.
Sure. Here's a YouTube music playlist called Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Ost.
So that's interesting. It picks up some stuff, it looks like, but we'll see. We'll see how much it hears. I mean, clearly in my microphone you can hear it. Hey Google, stop music. So let's see. Let's see what it actually got. No. Hey Google, play. testing with some background noise to see how much of it comes through. Hey Google, stop. Thank you. Okay, now play. Ooh, it had a hard time with that. It did not like that at all. All right, so clearly there are some limitations. Nothing was left but voices, right? Huh? You wanted my voice to disappear too? What a kidder. One. Good. There's a stand in the back of the console. You can use it to prop the console up. The angle that the console sits at can be adjusted freely. Starting from fully closed position, the stand opens up to 150 degrees. You can fix it in place at any point within this range. Nintendo Switch 2 console stand has a different shape from the Nintendo Switch consoles. The OLED model is pictured here. For example, or for the Nintendo Switch 2, we've made it U-shaped and left more space in the middle. This allows us to make the fan and battery bigger, and add new antennas. As a result, the console is now able to perform more calculations. One more thing about the stand. It's made of an aluminum alloy, which is very light and robust. It's about as light and robust as a material known as extra super duraluminum, which is used in airplanes and spacecraft. I was hoping there's just gonna be one question. What is the shape of the Nintendo Switch 2 console stand? Oh, I remember this thing. This is the worst stand. Alloy used, it's called Benjamin. Okay. The box is cushioned. If you look at the box containing Nintendo Switch 2 speakers, you'll see that there are spongy cushions attached to the top and bottom. They firmly sandwich the box. Because of this, other parts wouldn't shake around along with the box. If other parts were to end up shaking, the sound would get muddied and wouldn't come out as intended. Playing data-accurate sound. Speakers are parts that turn sound data into sound. But when that sound enters your ears, for various reasons, it doesn't sound exactly like the original data. On the Nintendo Switch 2 console, in order to make the sound close to the original data, we edit the sound that's played through the speakers. We recorded and analyzed the sound of the speakers, and calculated how to edit the sound in advance. Nintendo Switch 2 has a faster computer. As such, it's able to process sounds in high quality. By the way, the Nintendo Switch 2 speakers are designed to fit tightly as possible inside the console. Because of this, they actually slope diagonally downward a little. But by editing the sound, we managed to make it sound as if the speakers are facing forward. Wow. Tightly sealed box. The Nintendo Switch 2 speaker parts haven't actually changed. They're the same speaker parts that were used in the Nintendo Switch OLED model, but they function a little better on the Nintendo Switch 2 console. They produce better sound. This is because the speaker parts are placed in a box. We made sure that all sides of the box were tightly sealed, except for the front. If there's a gap where sound can leak out, it may cancel out the sound from the front, or it may come out muffled. The sound may be distorted and not come out as intended. Even though the console uses the same speaker parts as before, the tightly sealed gaps around them make the sounds come out more accurately. Wow, that's one tightly sealed box. Tightly sealed. Cushions. Diagonally downward. Right, I think that's all of them. Wow, you bagged 7 medals already? Way to go. Means time for a grand opening. On the Nintendo Switch 2 console, you can touch up to 10 points simultaneously with your fingers. So we made this mini game where you can have to touch 10 places using touch controls. You gotta put your fingers on the indicated colors, one after the other. And once you place a finger, you're not allowed to move it or take it off the screen. It's kind of a strategy game, I guess, so you gotta think about which finger you want to use next. If it's a bit difficult for you, you might want to bring in a second player to give you a little help. Can't do it. Yeah, I got you. I'll play these again another time when I'm not on the TV. Part 1, the colors are arranged systematically row by row, but then the colors will be shuffled. And 48. Okay, I can't do anything here. Which means we're done in this area. Right? Yeah. It's that other damn controller. Alright, well, I'm gonna stop here with this. I'm gonna finish it on the stream in some way, shape, or form, so I guess look forward to that. Yeah, anyway, this is indeed a game. Okay, let's take a break. I'm gonna swap. We're gonna go to Mario Kart and have some more Moo Time. That game is fun. Okay. Anyway, I'll be right back. See you soon.